Warrington are better when only one of Widdop or Williams plays, it feels like, and only one of them's going to be playing in this game. I fancy them to do okay. I've got Wire by 16 in this one. It wouldn't shock me if Salford won, because like you say, Warrington have been bad, but I think this one is set up for Warrington. Okay, lunchtime kickoff. Well, 12:30 p.m. kickoff on Sky on the Friday. It's Hull Kingston Rovers versus Hull FC in the Super League City Derby. It's home advantage for me is edging this one, because I kind of went both ways mentally on it. And partly as well, I just don't think they've got it right in the halves, Hull FC. And I don't see them bringing Ben McNamara in, even though he's possibly been their most consistent half. Lovadua's had some great moments in games too, but it's going to be Galen Reynolds, and it's going to be kind of still finding their feet. And I think even though Rovers won't have Mikey Lewis, I still think that they know a bit more what they're about as a team. So I'm going Rovers by 4 in my sort of give the home team a 4-point win mindset, where I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, it's the whole derby, so anything can happen. But I can't really disagree with it. I'm going to say KR, but KR by 8 for me.
Okie dokes. And then finally, 3 p.m. kickoff on Friday for Sky. On Sky for St Helens versus Wigan. Do you know what? Actually, my Uncle Liam now can't come to this game because of some work situation or something. So I now need to contact David and say I can get on the beers and arrange to meet him either before or after the game. So that's just triggered a memory for me. But in terms of the game, I think Saints will win. I think they're better, unfortunately, disappointingly, annoyingly, frustratingly. So I'm going to go Saints by 10 because Alex Walmsley is better than anyone else in the league at what he does.
Yeah, bloody annoying. But I'm going to say it's going to be tight. I think you've got points in you. And all the spoiling tactics in the world can't stop it. Saints by 2.
Okie dokes. Do you know what? I'd take that if we're entertaining and competitive and sets us up to beat them in the game that really matters now, which is the semi-final. That's me getting that in the head. But if we win on Friday, then that's the game that matters, because you know how it goes. In fact, there is something riding on this game, because it's the first one for 3 years. It feels bigger.
Yeah, well, it's something that I'm sure both sets of supporters have missed terribly.
Yep. Round 9 then on Monday. It's a bit of a lottery guessing this, isn't it? But the first game we're going to talk about is the Sky game, 3 p.m. kickoff, Castleford versus Leeds. And Alan, I don't really know where I sit with this Castleford side. I don't know if I really understand them this year, but one thing I do know about them this year is they can beat Leeds. So I've got Cast by 8.
Yeah, following the logic, I think Castle will be hurting after a defeat on Thursday night. So not that Leeds won't be, but yeah, I think Cast by 10.
Okie dokes. Huddersfield versus St Helens. A little bit, this depends how much Saints get battered up by a potentially physical derby. I don't know if that sways you anyway on this one, or do you think it's still Saints?
I'm going to go Huddersfield by 4. Why not?
It is the first of the potential banana skins, I think, and not that Huddersfield should be seen that way. Cup semi-finalists, what are they, 3rd in the league? You know, they're a good side this year. But I'm going to go with St Helens, Saints by 10, because until anyone can convince me otherwise, they're just the best team, which is fucking disgusting. Another potential banana skin kicking off at the same time, 3 p.m. Salford versus Catalans. And do you know what, Al? I'm going to say that Catalans are going to slip on that banana skin. I think they've got a few too many injuries and people out. And I just think Salford, it just feels like a game that they might underestimate or not fully go into with their eyes wide open. And Salford can take advantage. I've got Salford by 8.
Okay. there's logic in that, but I'm going to stick with Catalan winning it, but not by much. Catalan by 4.
Okie dokie. Repeat of a game we've just seen last weekend, but at the other team's home ground for Wigan versus Wakefield. Wigan were better than Wakefield last week. I think and hope they should still be better than Wakefield next week, so I'm going to go Wigan by 12. But it's a game that it's hard to pick with Wigan having the derby and Wakefield having an extra day. I'm just going to give it Wigan an edge, though.
See, that was the logic why I went Huddersfield, but I'm going to flip it on its head and I'm going to go Wigan by 6.
Fair enough. The final 3 o'clock game, although it's 4 o'clock in France, I think. Is that right? That's the way around it works. Toulouse versus Hull Kingston Rovers. And I do think that the Robins will be a team that falls to a banana skin. I've got Toulouse by 6.
Yeah, I've got to agree. I think Toulouse are not travelling tough. Monday away in France is always I think that's the toughest assignment. Big game for KR on the Friday. I'm going to say Toulouse by 2.
Yeah, I mean, after their shortest away trip of the season, they shouldn't be in too bad shape with an extra day as well and all of that. I feel it.
It's the best chance.
Yeah. 5:30 p.m. Monday on Sky, Hull FC versus Warrington. These two teams, especially in games at Hull FC, tend to play out close games. Do you think this will be a close game?
Very hard to pick. I've got a feeling it might be quite a high scorer, but I'm going to pick FC to edge it by 4.
And I'm going to, just for the sake of it, I think, go the other way and say Wire to edge it by 1. Let's say whichever halfback plays drop goal to win it for Wire is where I'm going on that, because that means then, whilst we went the same with all of the round 8 games, we've gone different a few times in those round 9 games.
Exactly.
There is only one round of the championship over the Easter weekend. The game of the week has to be first against third, doesn't it? Friday at 6 p.m. Featherstone versus Barrow.
Should be a cracker. Should be a good game, that.
And then the TV game on Premier Sports Sunday at 7 p.m. So a bit of a change to normal scheduling, so make sure you keep your eyes out for that one if you're a subscriber to Premier. Whitehaven versus Workington, the Cumbrian derby.
Yeah, should be a good one. Looking forward to it. You'd think Whitehaven, but who can say? Workington
need to find something from somewhere, raise the game for a one-off game in a way you can look at this that way, couldn't you? They've had a bit more rest as well than Whitehaven have had. Yeah, and
Workington played well against Barrow in the Cup.
They did,
so they can get up for these derby matches. But yeah, it's probably their best chance for a win in the season so far.
Yep. League One game of the week is the two most entertaining sides so far, I think, Swinton and North Wales. But it's a test for North Wales. They haven't had as tough a run so far, have they? Sunday 3 p.m. For that one. I think Swinton will be good enough, but we'll see what North Wales have in that encounter. But the R-League game, Doncaster versus Cornwall, that's Saturday at 1 p.m. Is it Saturday? I think it's... Well, that's what I've written down. That's going to be a hammering again, isn't it, for Cornwall? You have to think it's still too early for them to get on the right track, but they're working towards it.
Probably. I think Doncaster have been shaky, as I've said. But yeah. But if for me, Cornwall, if I can see progress, primarily defensively, if they can last week they were completely out of it after like 20 minutes of the game. They need to get off to a better start, a bit more discipline. But yeah, I can't see it being anything other than a Doncaster win. But if they can keep them down in terms of point scoring, that'll be a win in many ways.
Yep. And actually, whilst we're talking sort of Championship League One kind of stuff, we mentioned Sam Hallis before, didn't we? And in the sort of break that we just had ourselves off mic, we realised it's time for Bradford again. So,
is that his other opportunity?
Yeah.
Well, he's welcome back. He was very good for us.
Well, he's part time at Bradford, isn't he? Whereas Newcastle went full time this year, so obviously he seems to maybe suit part time rugby better.
Fair enough.
Make sure you get your fan views in on all of those games. We want to see plenty, especially for the non-televised games. There should be some close and exciting ones. We want to hear about what's happened from everyone so we can talk about it in good detail next week. See how good or bad our guesses are as well. I mean, who knows?
Probably bad.
Yeah. Let's see how good or bad you are in the SLP quiz now, though, as we move into the wrap-up. It's my turn to do the quiz for you this week, Alan. So I've gone with the predictable, and it's Easter derbies in the Super League era, because it's just easier. It's not because I don't acknowledge the rest of history exists, guys. It's just because it's a little bit easier to work on that smaller sample size than, you know, the full 127 years. So it's pretty simple. I'm just looking at the... We're not going to debate which is the bigger derby, because, you know, one's based in a city and one's the bigger derby, and then one's not even a thing anymore. But we're going to talk about those three different derbies.
Thing is, though, everyone knows what those three derbies are, and you don't even need to say what the teams are.
Yeah, I know.
There you go.
So we're going to start with the one that potentially, historically, if you believe it or not, is actually where the term derby came from, as the sides at the either side of Lord Derby's estate. Who has won more Easter derbies in the summer era? And I'm going to give you three options on all of these. So Wigan, Saints, or it's level.
Oh, man.
Wigan and Saints have obviously played the most derbies at Easter, given that it's a traditional fixture for them, and they've been in Super League every year, both of them.
Yeah, and you seem to play each other every other week.
I think we did in the late noughts when I was looking through these fixtures. There were some years we played each other like 6 times in sort of mid to late aughts.
Insane. I'm going to say Saints.
It's level.
Oh.
Wigan have 11, Saints have 11, and there's 2 draws.
So it's bragging rights on Friday then.
Exactly. Yeah, I nearly gave it away before when I said there was something more important on here. I stopped myself. But Wigan won 8 in a row between 2010 and 2017, which was pretty spectacular. That included the last at Knowsley Road and the first at Langtree Park / Totally Wicked Stadium. Although, you know, to counterbalance that, Saints won the last 2 Easter derbies at the old Central Park ground, and they drew the first Easter derby that was played at the what is now the DW, then the JJB. So none for one. You should get 1 out of 3, shouldn't you? Really, because it's a 33% chance each time. Anyway, that doesn't make sense mathematically. I realise that, Neil, before you come at me. Who has won more Easter derbies in the summer era? Hull FC or Hull KR, or is it level?
I'm going to say FC.
It is FC. FC have won 7. Rovers has won 5. There's been no draws between these two on the Easter schedule. FC are actually on a run of 3 in a row, but that came after Hull KR had won 3 in a row, which came after FC had won 3 in a row. So
it swings and waxes and wanes.
Yes.
Okay.
I think Hull are on a reasonable run as well, not just in derbies recently, not just in Easter derbies, sorry, but in general in derbies. I think they're on a run of 3 or 4 in a row. So Hull KR need to stamp that out. I might be wrong with that though. I'm trying to remember something I was half looking at earlier. Finally, in the forgotten Easter derby, who won more in Sorry?
It's not forgotten. Never forget.
Who won more in Super League, Leeds or Bradford, or is it level?
You see, the thing that's steering me is that we won a couple when we were shit.